The Force of Others, a Star Wars podcast.
Hello there, and welcome to The Force of Others. I'm Matt Beutner.
I'm Zachary Owen Turner, and today we're going to talk about everything that's going to come out in 2026, and some things that might not come out in 2026, but we're still excited for. But before we get to all of that, we have a wonderful question that ties into my question from last week from Rocky Westbrook. He says, what if Luke had listened to Ben and Yoda and remained on Dagobah in Empire Strikes Back? Matt, I'm going to cue you up first.
Yeah, so if you don't know what we're talking about, go watch The Empire Strikes Back again, because how dare you not remember this. But the whole thing is Vader is tempting Luke through the Force that his friends are going to get killed if he doesn't go run off to Cloud City and try and save them. And Ben and Yoda are like, dummy, don't go. You are being baited, and it's working. Don't.
If you fight Vader, I can't help you.
If you fight Vader, you must do it alone. I cannot interfere. But anyway... but what would happen if Luke had stayed, right? First off, I don't know how this could happen. His whole character to this point is based off of his inability to just stop and listen. All he does is just go run off and save his friends, in spite of the odds. It's what makes him heroic and stupid. That's the character, right? But so for some reason, he has a moment of clarity and maturity and resolves to stay on Dagobah. So, first off, not most importantly, but most obviously, he doesn't lose a hand in this continuity. Lando, Leia, Chewie, and the droids escape, as exactly happens in the movie, and Boba does get Han, exactly what happens in the movie, right? So now we get into the more nitty-gritty. I don't know if Leia's Force abilities awaken yet. They're mild at this point anyway, but I always kind of figured the stress of the moment of Luke calling out to her about to die is kind of what opened that door, right? Because she had no real clue beforehand that was something that she could do, right?
Yeah.
But I figure Luke stays on Dagobah till about Return of the Jedi time. Yoda and Ben also eventually do tell Luke about Vader and Leia. The whole thing was that he wasn't ready to hear it yet, right? That's why they didn't say it sooner. There's a deleted scene from Return of the Jedi where Yoda, if I remember right, Yoda says, I was going to tell you about Vader, and Ben convinced me not to yet. It might have been the other way. Ben was going to tell you, and I convinced him not to. We didn't think
I think
we
it's
were ready.
that way.
Yeah. But we just didn't think you were ready, and they were right. But so he finds out from them. But the only thing that I don't know for sure, and that I would be worried about for Luke in this continuity, is how Luke would handle Vader in this what if. In Return of the Jedi, Ben says that Luke has to kill Vader. Yoda says he has to face him. But the vibe that he gets from his teachers in Return of the Jedi is you have to kill him. That's what's going to fix everything. And with around 2 years of consecutive Ben and Yoda Jedi training, would Luke do that and kill Vader and fall to the dark side and continue the cycle? To be honest, I don't know. But so that's my answer. Zach, what do you got?
Yeah, so I thought about this literally for a while. So I have two kind of answers. So if Luke stays, Leia and Han might die, right? That's rewatching the scene. Yoda goes, or Luke says, and let them die. And Yoda goes, if you want to, what they're sacrificing for, yeah. But what I realized is what they're trying to teach him here is to not have attachments, right? They're trying to be like, hey, don't give in to your attachments. Don't worry about it. But his attachments, specifically to his father, are what saved the galaxy. And the Jedi were wrong in the prequels. So, here we go. Luke stays on Dagobah. The trap never gets sprung. Now, here's where two things go, right? So, in Heir to the Empire, which we read, we see that if Luke trusts his friends, they get out of things, right? I think Lando and would get Leia and Chewie in through the Lobot shenanigans, get out, just like you said. I think Han gets frozen and tortured still, for sure. But the movie could very well go where they get Han, because if he's trusting him, then I think they get out better than if he goes, right? Because if he goes, everything happens anyway. So I think Leia and Lando might get Han out in carbonite. So they steal the little little carbonite thing, and So the end of the movie or the beginning of the next movie is figuring out how to undo carbonite freezing, because if you're going to do it this way, then why would it just be buttons on the side? Like we just change the technology. And then you get Luke training with the Jedi, and then they re-meet, but they're also it's not all buddy I don't think anymore, because he's trying to be no attachments. He's trying to be the pious Jedi. And then if he doesn't lose his hand, he doesn't see his father's hand get cut off and realize that they're both mechanical, and there's that recognition of, oh, we're the same. I need to throw away my lightsaber, and I think he does fall to the dark side. But all of that is kind of bleh. So I wrote a even crazier one, which is what happens if he doesn't go and Lando and them fail because Vader has nothing to take away his focus. So he's like, no, cool, we're going to actually execute. We're going to like get you guys all. So Han gets tortured and frozen the same. Lando, Chewie, and Leia are taken and captured and split up, because why would you keep them in the same place? Chewie gets sent to the spice mines of Kessel, now run by the Empire. Lando gets sent to a work camp on Endor Prime, which is the planet the forest moon of Endor, but it's a gas giant. So he is already proficient with gas, running gas things. So he's there, and Leia is captured and put on the Forest Moon while they're building the Death Star. So the second movie begins, so you still have like an ending of that movie of like despair, like everyone's captured, everyone's separated. But the beginning of the next movie becomes, let's get the band back together. So Luke first goes to Jabba's palace, very similar, but gets Han out. But easier because he's now a full-fledged Jedi. He apologizes, I think, and I think somehow he has to realize his attachments are what makes him strong in the beginning of this movie, because otherwise you don't get the redemption at the end. But he gets Han out first, then they go and get Chewie out of the Kessel mines, then you get to see the Kessel Run in this timeline, because they talk about it all the time. Oh, this is the ship that made the Kessel Run in 12 parsecs. Like, we actually get to see that. Then they get Lando, and then they get Leia, and then they attack on the second Death Star. Because you need Lando. First of all, I was like, oh, maybe Lando doesn't get saved at all, because Luke doesn't know who he is at all. But if you don't have Lando to run the ship against the second Death Star, it doesn't explode. So, that's my fanfic. So
that second one was dope, but I have questions. So it was mostly the stuff with the first one. It's more, you gave me some interesting things to think about. So that Ben and Yoda are trying to go, don't give in to your attachments, and it is Luke's attachment to Vader that fixes everything.
Yeah.
But I think that like what they're really trying to get at is don't love them, don't control them.
Mm-hmm.
Love them, but also trust them. Was that what you were saying?
Yeah.
Okay, well, there we go. Well, then we agree.
Yeah.
Because, yeah. Well, yeah, and I guess that is true. If Luke never shows up, Vader would absolutely not. He wouldn't be still standing in the carbonite freezer just waiting.
Yeah.
Like a video game final boss, just waiting for that part of the game to load. Yeah. I always kind of figured that it would go down exactly the same way with they wouldn't get Han, but the heroes would save themselves, just like they do in the movie. But if Vader isn't distracted, my plan didn't work. Okay, I'll capture them. That makes a lot of sense. That was dope. Okay. Well, if you listener or watch have other thoughts, concerns, hopes, dreams, or just Star Wars questions, because we're a Star Wars podcast, send it to forceofothersradio@gmail.com, and we'll yap about them for about, I guess that was only 10 minutes. That was a good, deep Q&A, man. That was dope.
Yeah.
But
thank you, Rocky.
Thank you, Rocky. Always sending in dope questions, and I have plans to have him on the show soon.
Ooh.
Maybe in one of many RPG one-shots that are rattling around my brain, because he's a big role-playing game guy. But moving into our real live, Zach, how was your week? How's your first, almost full week at the time of recording of 2026 been, and has Star Wars found you so far?
Yeah, it has. So first week has been good. It's been really slow at work, so just a lot of time at home, and January is the slowest time for restaurants in the entire year. So you just try and buckle down and not spend money. That being said, I've had a good week and gone out and spent some money. We went to a fabric store yesterday, and we ended up going to the Museum of Nostalgia, which I've talked about before. That's where I get all of my old Star Wars toys, and I found the coolest one. I haven't shown this to Matt yet. I found a Darth Maul in the concept art
That's cool.
costume. And I had never seen this action figure before, but he's wearing the concept art golden robes, which means that they were making toys off the concept art.
I think this was made after the fact, if I remember right, as kind of what you're talking about. Like now that the concept art has been released, because it wasn't in the initial wave.
Yeah. Well, it said 1990 on it, so I don't know.
1990?
1999, sorry.
I think it was made after the fact.
Either way.
But either way, that's dope. Does it have the little strings all over his head? Because
no, it doesn't.
Yeah,
it just has the just the spikes on the side. Yeah.
Because I think in that concept art, if I remember right, that was when the horns were just he had attached them to his head like a net.
There was two of them.
Yeah.
There was one with the creepy girl, and then that one.
Yeah.
But Matt and I talked about it before the show, but I'm gonna share it. I also was on eBay, and we both love Dragonheart. I love Dragonheart. It's one of my favorite movies, top 10 of all time, and I found the Draco dragon and Bowen and everything for $20, and I was like. Yeah, I felt very Kevin Smith. I was like, nostalgia. I'm going to spend $20 to get some nice nostalgia.
Are the stars shining tonight?
I didn't even know that they had toys. I didn't even know. So, missed that out in my childhood. But I love that movie.
Well, I mean...
A Knight is Sworn to Valor.
Yo, yeah, don't even get me started on the old code. Bro, I love that movie so much. It's got to be 96 this came from, right?
I think it came
we
93.
Were infants.
All
right. Dramatic pause. 1996.
Yeah, you're right.
So I was 7. But the most enduring thing about Dragonheart is the score from that movie was used for every movie trailer for the next 25 years.
And the Olympics.
Yeah.
It's in the Olympics.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, it's so good. That I cry every time that Bowen that the dragon. The end. If you haven't seen we're gonna spoil a movie that's 27.
If you haven't seen Dragonheart, don't listen to it. Skip 30 seconds. But
yeah,
Zach, lay it out.
When the dragon dies, it turns into stars, and you see the stars explode in his eyes. Tears, just so much tears.
Yes.
But it's a perfect movie. It's great.
Yes. I love.
If you like Harry Potter, half of the cast is in it.
Yeah, if you like Harry Potter, if you like fantasy storytelling, if you just like emotional, fun action adventure, it's so good. There are so many $1 million jokes in that movie. Meat. That's all I'm gonna say. It's so funny. I love that movie. I think it's awesome. The worst thing about it is Zach, let them know what you said about Dennis Quaid's accent when we weren't recording.
Oh, Dennis Quaid loses his accent 4 different times in the movie. It changes, but he's still great, and still the through line of the character is still there. He just kind of loses what country he's in a couple of times.
Yeah.
But Sean Connery as a dragon, fantastic.
I love that movie. It's so good. Behold the wonders of an ancient glory. Love that movie so much. And to be fair, with the American guys playing British action adventure characters, this is the same era where Kevin Costner played Robin Hood.
It is. It's very similar.
Didn't even attempt an English accent.
He does at the very beginning of the movie, and then you see him just quickly we're done.
That's just not what I'm gonna do. So
yeah.
Anyway, but
if you want a good fantasy movie, you gotta go watch that. As far as other Star Wars stuff, been a lot of stuff has been coming up about the original trilogy just in my life. Just
cool.
movie, either clips have been coming to me or other stuff, but really cool stuff. And I've been putting together some like top 10s of our interviewee people. So got some graphics going that will pop up on our Instagram. So keep a lookout for that. Oh, and lastly, if you were at the bar this weekend and were talking to me about Star Wars, you said you were going to check out my podcast. Hi. Good to see y'all. Gave out some little business cards and welcome to the listeners. Promoting the show at the bar. So.
Welcome to the force of others. It's the force of others and not the force of us.
Yeah.
But sick. Well, as for
How was your week?
Yeah, I was gonna say as for my real life week, pretty chill because it's about to get crazy. Getting ready for Junior Theater Festival. We leave for my students and I. And it's about 60 people altogether, leave for Atlanta, Georgia on Thursday the 15th. And then I proceed to not exist for the next 4 days. In other work news, I finally finished my abridgment or adaptation, whatever you want to call it, of 12th Night. Literally finished that 40 hours ago. And I was like, okay. Now I got to pick callback and audition cuts and post this because I forgot we do that in like 2 weeks. Or 3 weeks, but still. Got that done. But outside of that, the biggest nerd thing that found me, the Stranger Things finale. I might do a special Force of Others stuff with me and Imperial Remnant. Zach, you're more than welcome. I might see if I can pirate Netflix in some fashion and get you some Stranger Things.
I'll just log in and ask for a vacation code.
There you go. Yeah, honestly. But no spoilers. All that I will say is the internet is split as to whether or not the Stranger Things finale was good, and no spoilers.
Some people were like, oh, it's like a David Huff and Benny. It's like the Game of Thrones guys.
And that is the stupidest take someone could have. There was no version. Literally, the reason I've read all the criticisms. The reason people are mad is characters. Mild spoilers, Zach. They wanted more character death, and they wanted more shooty, punchy. They wanted more pew. To which it's like, guys,
pew.
When a show doesn't give you what you wanted, that doesn't mean that it's bad. That means you're a whiny baby because you didn't get what you want. Review what it is, not what it wasn't and what you think it should have been. And go make your own thing, if that's your review. This show was never a show about monster fighters. It was a show about normal people, children that are growing up that had to fight monsters in their childhood. So I don't want to say anything else because Zach, you absolutely must watch it. I absolutely loved it, and I cried big gutterball heavy tears. I loved it. That's all.
And Netflix made $25 million by putting the finale in the theaters. So
Yeah, I mean my dream finale would have had everything we got and more shooty, but that's not what the show ever was.
Yeah.
So anyway, but as for how Star Wars has found me, I found it in that I got much more aggressive in my Star Wars content finding just for myself this year. I'm already 14 hours into the I, Jedi audiobook. I, Jedi is it's a Legends novel where it's written in first person from one of Luke Skywalker's first Jedi students.
Cool.
And he's like a former pilot. This is in the era of the EU where you could start your Jedi training at like 36 years old because we didn't know any better, right? And I still think they should do that in this new era. But anyway, super fun. It's a good time. It is. I have lots of hot takes of we have, man, Legends is cool, but we have improved as Star Wars storytellers in many, many ways. But it is also, I do recommend it. There's parts of this novel that are really, really fun, and I'll do a deeper review later. As for the other ways Star Wars has found me, I found something this morning. Take this with a massive grain of salt. But this broke apparently today. At the time of recording, January 6, 2026, has not been confirmed yet, but I'm already starting to see it show up this morning. This article was written at 2:33 a.m.
Oh my gosh.
But via Puck News, which is not a really particularly verifiable news source, but I'm starting to see it show up other places. It's currently 10 a.m. on January 6th. Supposedly, in the next week or two, Disney is going to confirm that Kathleen Kennedy is stepping down, and Dave Filoni is taking over as the head of Lucasfilm.
Mm-hmm.
What's different is that we've known for about 6 months that this was kind of the plan, because that leaked. But what we thought it was going to be was Dave was going to be the creative guy, and Carrie Beck was going to be the business handler.
Right.
What this is saying is that Dave is creative, and Lin-Wen Brennan is going to handle the business side.
Yes, Lin-Wen Brennan.
Yeah, not a name that I know. Apparently, this has been someone that's been doing business stuff for Lucasfilm for quite some time, and that's what I have. So, if, knowing our luck, by the time this drops on Friday, this will have all been confirmed and already been talked about.
Oh, she's the general manager and EVP of Lucasfilm currently.
Well, there you go. Executive Vice President. There we are.
Yeah.
Well, hey, that sounds, honestly, it's what I said a while ago.
And she's a visual effects person background. Worked on Iron Man,
cool.
Star Trek, Day After Tomorrow, and has been with Lucasfilm, it looks like, since episode 1 of Mandalorian. Or
Sounds perfect.
season 3, yeah. So, there you go.
Sounds perfect. It's everything that I said 6 months ago. Dave Filoni has to be the guy because he understands that the Force is not superpowered Grey Jedi nonsense. It is a philosophical idea, and it needs to. That has to be at the core of it, or you lose what the story's about. And then when you pair him, because let's face it, he's a storyteller and an animator, and while he's brilliant at both of those things, I wouldn't want him to run a company to this of this scale by himself, and he wouldn't either. But you pair him with a business exec, he handles the stories, they handle the business. Sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Sounds absolutely awesome. And I'm not trying to make this an anti-Kathleen Kennedy moment. Y'all know how I feel about her. But
it's positive if you don't.
Yeah. But So I'm hopeful. But do you have anything to say about that?
No, I'm a Dave fan, so I'm always here for more Dave Filoni stories. I know there's a sect of Star Wars that hates him, but I don't get it. I think you don't understand what's going on, because he tells good stories that I really like. And yeah, he has misses, but so does everybody. So deal with it.
Go ahead.
But no, I'm excited for it. So.
I had an interaction on Twitter during the Andor Season 2 run of somebody posted a meme of, it was Ahsoka and Luke and a couple other characters from like the cartoon, the animated era that have been made into live action, all kind of crammed into one image with Cassian Andor in the middle, and it said, Andor Season 2, if Dave Filoni made it. And I said, yeah, and it'd probably be really fun. And I got taken to task, of course, a fanboy podcast, and I said, excuse me for liking Star Wars. How dare I? Wow. Yeah, who would have ever thought? But anyway, I like Star Wars characters to be in my Star Wars stories. That's what a strange thing. So it's a lot of that. It's a lot of the people that want Star Wars to be Andor all the time, which, hey, if that's what you love, it's perfectly valid, but that's not Filoni's vibe.
Yeah.
So, but neither is it George Lucas's. But neither here nor there. The can of worms is officially opened, and let's destroy all those worms and move into the Star Wars that is not rumor, the Star Wars that is for sure happening next year, and it is so much, and I can't wait. Zach, hit him with the first one and the biggest one.
Yeah, first up on our buffet of 2026 is The Mandalorian and Grogu, May 22nd, 2026. Din and Grogu, after Season 3, on an adventure involving gladiators, Hutts, AT-ATs, the Empire, maybe some First Order stuff, we don't know. But for sure, we're going to have Rada the Hutt, played by the bear actor.
Jeremy Allen White.
Thank you, Jeremy Allen White, who is there for most of the film, and written and directed by Jon Favreau, starring Pedro Pascal, Sigourney Weaver, Jeremy Allen White, and Grogu as himself, which is always so fun because he's a little animatronic baby. I'm the most hyped for this movie. It looks so fun. Oh, and Zeb Orrelios is in there too, by that voice actor.
Steve Bloom?
Steve Bloom, thank you.
Yeah.
But yes, super excited for this. I am probably the most hyped for this out of, well, this and two other things are my most hyped of 2026. But I'm just excited to get a Star Wars movie in the movie theater, man. I'm excited to grab some popcorn and, a little Coke Icy with a little bit of cherry in there, and I'll be there. I'll be there on May 22nd. What about you?
Yeah, I'll be there on May. Well, this is my plan right now. This is the first time a Star Wars movie been in theaters in almost 7 years.
Yeah.
So May 22nd, 2026, I will be in a theater somewhere, either with you or with Lance or with just a bunch of people. Doesn't matter. With the biggest thing of popcorn I can get and the biggest smile I can put on my face, and I will treat it like a party, even if it's terrible. And I will just sit back and watch that movie, and then I will again be in the theater on May 23rd, 2026. This time I'll be sitting in the back, probably early in the morning, with notes out. And that will be how I will be prepared to actually give a real review. The first time I'm just going to sit there embracing my inner child and letting all of the Star Wars wash over me back in theaters again. And then I'll have my critic hat on, my podcaster hat on the next time.
That's a really great way to do it, because I remember walking out of Rise of Skywalker being like, that was the best movie ever. I loved that. And then you think about it, you're like, I had some problems.
Well, it's funny. Yeah, the first couple times I saw it. Well, no, the first time I saw it, I was like, it's that easy to end something? You just kind of write whatever? Maybe I do need to be a writer. And then I watched it a couple more, and some of there are things in that movie that I do really, really love. I do think they hit the emotional beats. They hit a couple of them well, but it's very, 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 very clearly made up as they went, which is what it is. To talk about this, I'm just excited, not just for the experience, but for what it is. I've seen a lot of people saying that it has to be a hit, and a lot of people saying that it has to be huge and it has to change Star Wars forever, and how dumb it's going to be if it's just a Mando episode. I got really bad news for you guys. It's probably going to be a Mando episode on the big screen.
It's probably going to be a whole season condensed into a movie.
But I don't even know if that's true. I think because that's not Favreau's storytelling style. Favreau, if anything, goes for simple clarity, right? It's probably going to be, if it's anything from season 4, it will be one of, if not his favorite idea from that season, where he was like, well, that would make a really great adventure movie. Let's do that. That's my prediction. And the biggest reason I think is what's happening is for stuff we're going to talk about later. At Star Wars Celebration 2023, 3 Star Wars movies got announced, right? All 3 of which are in some version of development limbo right now. And it's because immediately after Celebration, we went into the 9-month entertainment strike, and they could not continue to develop any of those movies. So coming out of it, they're like, we got to get something to make shareholders happy. What's the only project that was doing, I don't want to say was doing well, but what was the only project that had momentum going into the entertainment strike? And it was The Mandalorian. Yeah. And so they said, "What can you make this a movie?" And he said, "Yeah, sure, great, done. That's happening." I've said it before, but that's my thoughts. But Zach, what do you got about The Mandalorian and Grogu?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's like I said, I'm happy for it. I'm excited for it. I don't know if it's going to push Star Wars into a new direction or a new era. I think it's just going to be a good, fun time. I think it will set up a little bit of either Ahsoka or this planned Heir to the Empire movie that we might get eventually, because they're facing Imperials, so it's got to be something. We might get more Shadow Collective. We might get, I think it'll move forward lore-wise, but I don't know if it's going to be like, and then they blew up a 3rd Death Star, so. Yeah. But I'm excited for it. I'm very curious to see where Grogu grows through for this movie, and because it seems like he's not in the IG, little robot anymore. So we'll see.
Oh my gosh, that's right. I forgot about that.
He's not piloting himself in that little robot. So.
Lame.
No.
I loved that droid.
No.
I loved that. I thought it was such a cool idea. I forgot about that completely.
Yeah.
Man. Yeah. One other thing I want to say on Mando and Grogu. This is a rumor that was out a while ago now. This might have been a year and a half ago. But I remember we talked about it on the show. There was a rumor that this was going to be the end of the Mandalorian story to this point, but that Din Djarin would be seen in future projects.
Great.
So it makes me wonder if this is going to be the split up of Din Djarin and Grogu, and they're going to do it writ large on the big screen. I would be baffled if that's what they did, but it's possible.
And they're like, and we have another Luke Skywalker cameo.
Yeah. Well, and if they do that, then Grogu will for sure show up in whatever new Jedi Order movie is happening, and now he's Master Grogu and he talks.
Yeah.
You know, because it's been however many years. But anyway, all right. So moving into from the big screen to the small screen
to the cinema.
So we're going to talk about. There's the first three things we're talking about are the three most anticipated Star Wars projects of next year. It's just we'll talk at the end which one we're most excited about.
Yeah.
So we talked about Mando and Grogu. We're going to stick with the Mando universe and talk about Ahsoka Season 2.
Woo-hoo-hoo.
So the first thing I have to say, maybe for this year, most likely second half of the year, if not next year, because all of a sudden Ahsoka Season 2 was kind of suspiciously absent from the final Disney 2026 earnings call with its shareholders. They did not mention it on their slate. Worth bringing up, they just finished shooting in, I believe, July of this year.
Last year.
Of 2025. That just happened. And usually with these Disney Plus shows, it's about, a year of post-production, and then it's out. But it is... If they're choosing to pump the brakes to ensure quality, I will take that. If it's true what we're hearing, that they're going to go for quality over quantity on Disney Plus now, I think that would be for the best. But to talk about what we know, all that we know about Season 2 so far is it's Ahsoka, Sabine, Baylan, and Shin are still stuck on Peridia, while Ezra, Thrawn, Night Sisters, and whatever those creepy boxes are have gone back to the galaxy far, far away. Filoni has teased a big naval battle between Akbar and Thrawn.
I'm so here for it.
Away. Oh, yeah. At a celebration, Rosario Dawson, who plays Ahsoka, says Season 1 was all set up. Season 2, they just get to play. And then Filoni has said on a couple occasions, because half of the show will be on Peridia and half in the normal galaxy will be split between the familiar and the strange. Mm-hmm. So I'm very, very excited about all that. But Zach, what's your big takes on Ahsoka Season 2?
I'm so hyped. If it doesn't come out this year, I will be very sad because they've been telling us it'll be this year for like 2 years now. If you're just listening to the podcast, I'm wearing my Ahsoka ears.
Rebel ScumCon from Skywalking Through Neverland.
Yeah. But no, I'm so here for it. Again, I think this one has the most potential to move Star Wars forward in a philosophical way. Which is what I'm most excited about. I'm so curious what Baylan is searching for on Peridia with that big old mountain and the lightning or whatever light was coming out of it. I'm excited to see how the Game of Thrones actor does as Baylan. I'm excited, we got a new Baylan skull. I really hope we see Thrawn just be a military genius. I don't want any more... we will still win because I have plans. Like, I need to see Thrawn come out. I need to see him beat. I need him to win that naval battle. To really be a threat. For this new republic. I want there to be a dread at the end of the season of what Thrawn is doing, to set up something really cool. But I'm here for it. I'm so excited, and I hope that the season ends. I'm going to do a prediction with the Ghost crew getting back together, and Thrawn having won a huge naval battle and, setting up something for the First Order or something like that. That's what I want, and I'm so here for it. I'm so excited. Like, I'm nothing but hype for that show.
Yeah. I've said it before about Season 1. The story that they told is my favorite story that they have. It might be my favorite story that they've said in canon, just that they've told in canon. For me, the execution was wonky at times, so that the acting was kind of stilted and the dialogue was kind of boring, and sometimes character motivations didn't make sense. But I loved what they did. That it was a fun, pulpy, wild, over the top Star Wars story. The rumors we've been hearing about what's happened on Peridia, where there's going to be giant kaiju monsters and stuff, and that we're probably going to get Abeloth. all sounds absolutely wild and insane. All that we know that Filoni's been saying about his movie since it was announced at Star Wars Celebration is that there was a big battle that the New Republic had to face, and we're going to tell the story of that battle.
Yeah.
It is possible, as that was 3 years ago now that got announced, that they might just wrap that all up in Ahsoka Season 2 and be done with it.
Maybe.
It's also entirely possible that the future of Filoni's movie and the Mandoverse at large is going to depend on how Mando and Grogu does in theaters. So they might leave it in a spot where if it ends here, it would make sense.
Yeah.
Where you could do more, but you could end it here. I hope that's not what it is. Mm-hmm. Also, actually, that's probably not what's gonna. That's not what's gonna happen at all, because that's not the way the streaming business works now. All these shows end on cliffhangers.
Yeah.
So I'm wildly incorrect. It will end on some type of cliffhanger, setting something else up, and I hope you're right.
Yeah.
But I'm stoked. But as for the other big TV project, and well, there's two more, but then the biggest. Maul Shadowlord. No confirmation as to when it's coming out. There's internet rumblings that I've seen saying April. The prequel comic that we talked about last week ends that month, and so it would make a lot of sense to have that comic end and then go straight into the show premiering. Also, that's when Bad Batch premiered its seasons, unless they do a May 4th drop, which is possible, but I don't think
they'll do the 4th. I think they'll do the 5th. Revenge of the 5th or the 6th, you know.
Let me see.
That'd be a good marketing campaign.
I mean, well, we always joke about stuff like that, but Disney never, they could have dropped the season of Obi-Wan Kenobi on whatever anniversary of the original Star Wars movie. And it was off by like a week or something. Yeah. And it's like, and they don't care about that. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to be negative Nancy. It's just that, you know. But it's also entirely possible that we're going to get another Tales of blank.
True.
And that almost always drops on May the 4th or on that first weekend in May.
Yeah.
But either way, what we know about Maul Shadowlord, because we saw Sam Witwer talk about it at Rebel ScumCon, Sam is back to play Maul about a year after the Rise of the Empire. It looks a lot like Maul's taking a young Twi'lek as his apprentice and building Crimson Dawn. So everybody's running with the theory that they're going to kind of use unused George Lucas concepts for Star Wars Episode 7. Where we do know that at some point early in development, Maul was the big bad, and Maul had taken a version of, oh my god, I'm forgetting her
Darth
name.
Talon.
Thank you. Darth Talon as his apprentice, which apparently came from George Lucas saw statues of both their characters and said, they're friends, and walked away. And apparently that is a true story. But Sam has also said the story is going to focus on Maul. They're using ideas he had pitched at various times on Rebels and Clone Wars, and that while Maul is a villain, there are qualities about him that make him less evil than Vader and Palpatine, and that this show is about bad guys versus worse guys. So, Zach, thoughts, expectations, hopes, and dreams for Maul Shadowlord?
I hope we I just want to get fully immersed in the seedy underbelly of the Star Wars universe. I want to see Nar Shaddaa. I want to see, take us to places we've never seen before, and to places we've seen before, but the upside down if we're gonna be doing Stranger Things. Like give me the underside of Coruscant. Give me, just give me all of the seediness. Show him build up Crimson Dawn like it's no other, and then either leave it on a question of how he becomes Old Master, or show us his fall. If you're going to give us multiple seasons, save it. I would rather have multiple seasons like they did with Bad Batch. But I'm so excited for it. I hope Darth Talon makes it out. I hope it is Darth Talon, and I hope they make it out, and that you can just like have another character kind of off in the background. But I'm here for it.
My biggest prediction, the more that I've thought about it, and I think it's going to make people mad, is that the show is called, I don't know. The show's called Maul Shadowlord, but all these animated shows have had a young lead, a young character as the point of view character and the lead. So, I mean, Ahsoka on Clone Wars, Ezra on Rebels, Omega on Bad Batch, Talon on Maul Shadowlord.
Oh.
It wouldn't surprise me if she's the point of view character. And that'll make people mad because it's called Maul, but people that already know who Darth Maul is, we're in the bag for this.
Yeah.
You gotta hook the next generation. There are people that will watch this. There are kids that will watch this that have no clue who Darth Maul is. And this is just basic storytelling, guys. Sorry. It wouldn't surprise me if she is the point of view character. You might get an episode or two exclusively from Darth Maul's perspective, and then he meets this apprentice, or he meets this kid, takes her as his apprentice, and the show kind of turns on its head a bit.
What if, just wild pitch, right? Because if they do set up Darth Talon, all that, and you want to use some EU that we've been reading and stuff like that, it's a stupid name correlation, but what if it's Darth Talon Card? What if Darth Talon becomes the Talon Card of this universe and is like, a very smart mastermind of the Force, and we get Vorinskers through them? I don't know. Just a silly name correlation, but
I can see it.
Got to speak it into existence. Yeah.
I think she's. I don't know. We'll see. My prediction is that she's going to be some type of dark side Ahsoka.
Yeah.
That might go more middle ground, and then the show will end with her escaping. Maybe that's how Maul ends up getting stuck on Malachor. Is that come with me and we can rule the galaxy, and she leaves him and strands him there, and that's why he's looking for an apprentice, and why he's with Ezra. Like, come on. My biggest hope is that they tell the biggest, baddest, grandest, best Darth Maul story, because at a certain point, how long are we gonna keep this guy around? I love Darth Maul. So fun. So entertaining. Tell the definitive Darth Maul tale. Fill the gaps. Finish the character. And send him off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Send 3 seasons or so. Don't get me wrong. I would love 10 seasons. I would eat it all up with the biggest spoon I could get. It's probably going to be 1 to 3. But don't give us just 1 year of Maul. Let us all get mauled. Give us all of the Maul. Third and final.
I want to go to the mall and see Maul.
That'll be a clip. So the third and final television project that we know of right now, The Ninth Jedi, is getting a series. First Star Wars Visions property to get its own show. Literally all that we know about it is it's going to continue the story of the Ninth Jedi shorts from Visions in volumes 1 and 3. Zach, what are your thoughts on this?
I am a Ninth Jedi fan, so I'm here for it. I'm excited to see what they do. They basically just set up that there are very few Jedi left and a lot of Sith, and they have cool different versions of lightsabers, and who knows what's going on there. We know that they're being hunted. I don't know where this season will go. I don't know what the overarching story they're trying to tell is. I think her dad is captured, so I think they're trying to get him back, or captured or killed. So who knows? Either way, I'm here for it. I love an alternate universe and the opening of what that might become for Star Wars. I think it's a really cool movement forward for the universe. So and I've been watching a lot of anime lately, so I'm here for it.
Right on. As longtime listeners know, and Zach knows, that's my biggest hiccup, is that I'm not a big anime guy. I got nothing against it if that's your thing. It's just not a style of animation that I'm able to... It's a speed bump for me. It's not a style that I'm used to, I like The Ninth Jedi. I don't love it. I know that I'm alone in that. I'm excited to see a Star Wars story that is not bound by the borders of continuity. I'm excited to see something new and bold and different and strange. But, I'm ready to accept whatever it is. Best thing about it is that I have no expectations, because they can do whatever they want. Yeah. So cool. Moving out of film storytelling into the comics. Zach, lay down some comics for us.
Yeah, mini canon comics corner. We're going to get a ton of canon comics. So we have Legacy of Vader and for the Falcon, all wrapping up in January. Bad Batch Rogue Agents is getting a 4-issue miniseries. We're getting a Jar Jar one-shot on February 11th with Keller and Beck team-up, partially written by Ahmed Best. We're getting a High Republic Adventures Pathfinders March 11th, which is a High Republic Pathfinder squad investigating the death of a Jedi Master.
It's the first story of Phase More. So
Yeah.
we've had Phase 1, 2, and 3 of the High Republic, and they've joked and called this Phase More. That's yeah.
Oh, instead of 4. Hilarious.
Yeah.
And then we're getting a Visions comic book manga named Sukamo, which is Jedi After Order 66, helps 2 droids reach a droid paradise. And that one, if you are not familiar, was the one where it has a very stormtrooper-looking helmet on top of a Jedi. So lots of stuff coming in. I am most excited to finish up Legacy of Vader, which I think happens this week.
It comes
or is
out
it
the
next
14th,
week?
I believe. So
Yeah,
we'll talk about it probably the week after it comes out.
I'm excited for that Jar Jar one shot. I think it'd be fun. And curious about the others. I'm not a Bad Batch. I did a lot of cool things and a lot of things that I was like, eh. So I'm not like super hyped for it, but I'll probably read it. And I will definitely pick up the manga because I think that's a fun version of Star Wars. So, what about you? Thoughts on all of these comics?
The biggest thought that I have is that it is worth mentioning that there has not been any press or confirmations of any of the ongoing titles continuing. So I don't really know what's happening in Star Wars comics right now for coming up on 6 years, or longer than that, I'm sorry. We're on year 11 of canon Star Wars comics, and every year until now, we have had at least 2, if not 3, ongoing Star Wars titles constantly, with the exception of when the industry kind of took a pause during COVID and stuff. And so to not have any confirmation of that, I'm just curious. It's what we talked about a couple weeks ago, that Jedi Knights and Legacy of Vader were kind of positioned like they were going to be ongoings, and then just all of a sudden stopped.
Yeah.
So we will see. Might be there's a publishing shakeup. But of these that are getting, I'm obviously most excited for the end of the Legacy of Vader. It's this is the only story that's continuing the sequels right now.
Yeah.
I think we had a Poe Dameron miniseries come out late last year that I haven't read. Remember that? Yeah, that was late last year, and I haven't read it.
Yeah.
I'll look at it.
I also haven't been reading Hunt for Falcon either.
Yeah, well, I feel weird about that one because there was a storytelling initiative in publishing told throughout comics and novels leading up to Last Jedi. That it was the journey of the Falcon, and it was telling the story of all the people that stole it and how it changed hands so many times and ended up on Jakku. So when I heard they were announcing this comic book, I was like, we've heard this story. What? I don't... And apparently it works in continuity. It's just, but this is Han and Chewie's perspective. And I was like, all right. I've heard it's fun, so I'll probably read it eventually. It's comics, so you can kill it in an afternoon.
Yeah.
But I'm second most excited for the Jar Jar one-shot. I think that's so fun, and I'm just ready to have a good time.
Yeah.
But, okay, so moving into novels,
Mm-hmm.
we've got 3 that have already been announced. There will be more, but 3 that we know of right now. First coming up is Eyes Like Stars, set to release this summer. It is the first kind of officially dubbed romance novel, I think, ever in Star Wars. Which I think that title belongs to Lost Stars, but I guess that wasn't officially in the romance novel like subgenre, I guess. Set a year and a half before The Force Awakens, featuring all new characters, a young couple, a quote-unquote fearsome artifact, and the First Order. Zach, you got any thoughts at all about Eyes Like Stars?
If it can be as good as Lost Stars, then I will read it, because that's one of my favorite books. So
yeah. Then I should mention there's no tying to that story that we know of.
Yeah.
It would be funny if it was a secret sequel written by a different author, but I think it's going to be its own original story.
Yeah.
I am not an authority on the romance novel genre. I know, listeners, watchers, you're shocked by that. But, hey, I am excited for the biggest thing about all of this stuff is that it's new Star Wars, and I am excited about new Star Wars. You never know what's going to end up being one of your new favorite things.
Yeah.
But next big book, and spoilers, my most anticipated book by light years upon light years, Legacy, comes out July 28th, 2026, and this is between The Last Jedi and The Rise of Skywalker, Rey continuing her Jedi training under Leia.
Yeah.
All that we know right now is they head to Tython to repair the Skywalker saber while being hunted by the First Order. My biggest take, I'm going to say it first. Why on earth has it taken 7 years for a novel covering this story and this relationship to come out? I mean, the answer is because The Rise of Skywalker was critically reviled and they buried it for a while.
Yeah.
But a novel of Jedi Master Leia Organa training your new Star Wars lead is a no-brainer to me.
Yeah.
Good, bad, or indifferent on those movies. There were prequel tie-in novels coming out all the time, and they were way more critically reviled than the sequels were, right? And the whole Clone Wars multimedia project came out.
Yeah.
But for some reason, Disney's like, well, no, people didn't like those movies, so we're going to pretend they don't exist. But Zach, what's your thoughts on Legacy?
I'm excited for it. It's one of those where it can't do too much because in between movies. But it is a huge gap that is missing in between those movies. So I'm very excited to see where that goes. But I will definitely be reading that one. Of these, it is probably the one that I am most likely to read as well, besides one other one. But yeah, I'm here for it.
Yeah. Well, worth saying, it also, this one has the most potential to be, hey, we said it was about this, but it's actually a story from a new character's perspective, and we'll be like, all right. Or it's got the most
actually
potential...
the person in the background of that movie that you didn't see, and then they were watching the whole time.
Yeah. Could very well be. And it could also be me going, well, wait a minute, that doesn't make sense with who Leia has been before or after this novel.
Yeah.
What? But neither here nor there. I'm excited. And then last but not least, Reign of the Empire 2, sequel to The Mask of Fear, Edge of the Abyss. It's set to release in the fall, unspecific time, and it's going to jump a lot of years all the way up to 6 BBY, which for those paying attention at home is just before Andor. So it sounds mighty likely that we're going to get some Luthen Rail.
Yeah.
That's not confirmed, but that would be my big old guess.
You gotta.
So, Zach, how you feeling?
Oh, I'm excited for that one. The first one is a story that doesn't tell too much, but it tells it really well. And I constantly think about in the Star Wars universe, just some of the imagery there. So I'm excited to see what this one does. I would love some more, like, if we can see that scene. In the third book, I think we will eventually see the scene of Padme sitting with Bail and
Good call.
just like the deleted scene from episode 3.
Good
but
call.
if we can see more of that kind of stuff of like, hey, like, let's start to form this rebellion. Yeah, cool. Yeah. I'm excited for that one. So
that's a good poll, because I remember when we reviewed Mask of Fear. I thought what that story was going to be was the first time Mon Mothma and Bail Organa kind of like teamed up and like let's make the rebellion, and then I realized, oh, that's not what this story is at all. Yeah. If anything, it's them being convinced that it's not time to move yet. So, but I loved that story for its political parallels to right now, but also for just there were so many cash money gold certified beef monologues that were so great that it's a thick book, but I might reread it just to go through and highlight a bunch of stuff and like bookmark all those pages every time there's characters just spitting bars. But moving away from monologues
also, there's just one more book that we forgot to talk about.
Oh, okay.
Outlaws, Low Red Moon by Mike Chen, coming out February 3rd, 2026. ND5 and Jalen Vrax embark on their descent into the galaxy's underworld in search of answers and opportunities in the essential prequel to Star Wars Outlaws. Essential prequel is a very big word. Very a title given to a book before it's come out.
Well, and to be essential when Jalen Vrax was by far the most boring character in that video game for me is a wild thing to say.
Yeah.
Just skip over Jalen and just make it about ND5. And then have Jalen show up every now and then in ND5 say, go away, you're dumb and boring. Get out of here. Nobody cares about you. An essential prequel would be about Kay Vest, dog.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry. I'm sure it's a wonderful novel. But good call. I forgot about that one.
Yeah.
Good pull.
But moving on into back to a screen of some sort, we're going to video games. We have 2 that are confirmed and a lot more in development. But we have Zero Company, which was announced, I think, last Celebration. Yeah. Made by Bit Reactors. It's a single-player turn-based tactical game set during the Clone Wars, starring a party of outcasts/rejects known as Zero Company. We don't have much on this except for like a piece of art, and we know that it's turn-based. So, Matt, any thoughts on this one?
They've shown a couple gameplay things here and there, but not a lot. The only thing that has me like really excited about this, I'm not a big real-time strategy gamer, but they have said that there's going to be a lot of choice-based things, and that your party composition, it's going to change the story. Is basically kind of what they've made it sound like. Like, you can choose to go all droids. You'll probably fail, but you can choose that if you want. That does sound fun to my nerdy little brain.
Yeah.
I hope it's accessible and fun, and not, you have to learn 45 skill trees to be able to play this game. That sounds terrible, and it might be that one. I don't know.
I'm worried about this game because of that. I'm not a real-time strategy type person. That often, like, they had that Halo game that was all strategy based, like ODST, I think, and I was like, no, not my game. So I'm curious to see I want to know what the story is. I want to play for that reasons. I hope there's an easy mode, so that we can burn through that if we don't like the game. But I hope that this doesn't fall into the same as Star Wars Squadrons did for me, which was the pilot game, which was just too hard mechanically to play for me. Like, I got halfway through it, but I was like, this isn't fun because I'm so stressed out about turning my ship to fire and not getting hit, But, I'm excited for it. I hope the story is really cool. And I hope we get a new cast of characters that we really love, which we probably will. But for a game that I am so excited about, I've talked about it a million times, but we have Galactic Racer. It's made by game studio Fuse, known for racing franchises such as Need for Speed and Burnout. In the first trailer, we meet a new character named Shade, a lone racer with a dream of glory and revenge. Players will learn more about Shade as they progress through the game's campaign. Your aim is to survive long enough to earn your shot at becoming an elite racing pilot. We've drawn a quote from the creators. We've drawn a real inspiration from runs-based games, so the player will have meaningful, consequential decisions to be making on how they choose their path to becoming an elite racer pilot. Good news for me. I like story-based games. From the vehicle they choose to start with, the upgrade choice they make to create and build that really suits their playstyle, and what events they select in determining their path to becoming champion of the league, Webster says. Along the way, you'll compete with rivals, journey to new planets, and master difficult classes of repulsor craft or speeders, each with their own distinct capabilities. We'll have a range of racing repulsor crafts for players to discover in-game, each of which have unique handling characteristics. Also notice that in many of our events, our different speeder class race at the same time with an exciting physical interactions as those differing racing lines come together. All of this, so excited for. I hope there's a couch multiplayer as well. Like, I want this to be a game like the first one was, where you could sit down with friends and just be like, cool, you choose Sebulba, I'll choose Anakin, and let's, fly through the Boonta Eve Classic. Like, I also need some online play so that Matt and I can play across the country and record that and, have one of us smoke each other, and that'll be great fun. So, we'll hopefully all of that and more coming out. I will be pre-ordering this game to get all of the extra stuff. So, Matt, thoughts from you?
I'm excited. It sounds fun. I hope that it's fun. I hope that I'm always, especially in this modern area of video games, I'm always just so concerned that we're gonna buy it and then we're gonna find out it was a cash grab.
Yeah.
And we're gonna find out it was rushed, and we're gonna find out that eventually, years later, yeah, here were all the things that we had planned, and then we had to meet a release date a year sooner than we were told, and so what you got is what we could do. You know, I'm always so wary of the business reality of video games, but to be positive, both of these sound fun, and all the stuff we just talked about, all of it. I am always here for new Star Wars.
Yeah.
And people will say that I am willingly eating out of the slop bucket, and that's fine. Sometimes I do like stuff that y'all call slop. That just might be because I like Star Wars. So you'll hear me complain about it if I don't like it, but hey, at the end of the day, it's all make-believe anyway, so I'm going to choose to find things that are fun. Sorry, that belch was provided by Monster Energy Drinks. Monster, not a sponsor, but you could be.
Oh.
So, anywho, Zach,
Yeah.
you got anything else to say about Galactic Racer before I
Just
something else?
it will become my life for like a month. So just look out for that, dear listener. I'll drop my racing tag. How about that? I'll when it comes out, if we can play online and you want to play against me, you'll probably beat me, but it'd be fun. Maybe I'll make my racing tag like Force of Others or something like that, or
Force of Others dash Zach.
Force of Others 1, Force of Others Z, and Force of Others M.
I love it.
Force of Others with a Z instead of an S. There we go. That'll be mine, and then you could be Force
of Otherm.
Force
of Mothers. No.
Nope.
So anyway,
that's our podcast that our moms run when we have them on.
We joke, but that would be really entertaining.
Yeah.
Anywho, okay, so love you, Mom. Shout out. Out of everything that we just ran down, Zach.
Yeah.
What is the Star Wars project that you are most excited about that is coming out this year?
It's probably a tie between Ahsoka and Shadowlord. I'm really excited about Shadowlord.
Not Galactic Racer?
I am so excited about Galactic Racer, but Galactic Racer is something that I'll have to do on my own time and like my own schedule and all of that. The other two, I'm like, cool, that's going to be zeitgeisty. I'll be able to talk about it. Like it's just going to create so much community in the universe that I'm really excited about.
Yeah.
So.
I agree in that it's Ahsoka and Shadowlord, but also I think just right now, man, I'm getting really romanticized with the reality that we're going to be in a theater watching Star Wars again.
Yeah.
I can't wait. I will be that guy that's sitting there just getting teary-eyed when Lucasfilm comes up on the biggest screen I can put in front of my face.
Yeah.
And obviously we had that this last year when Lance and I went and saw, Revenge of the Sith 20th anniversary, and also when Lance and I went and saw Force Awakens, played along with by the Fort Worth Symphony Orchestra. So I've gotten that experience twice, but we're getting a new movie in theaters, and I absolutely cannot criffing wait.
I will go see it on the largest screen in North America, which is here in New York.
And it might be possible. Let me get my financials in order for this year. I might journey to the New of York to go see this Star Wars film with Zachary Owen Turner. Yeah. But I know myself enough that I will go see it once for the fun, and second for you guys. Yeah. That'll be where I sit up in the back with my phone out and take notes the whole time, which I will, it'll be at an early morning screening so that I'm not annoying people with my phone out the entire time taking notes. But Zach, so we're going to move out of the stuff that is for sure happening and real quick run down all the stuff that is in some version of development limbo.
Limbo time.
So all of these things are in various levels to I don't think they're happening or we don't know.
Yeah.
But Taika Waititi's Star Wars movie, James Mangold's Dawn of the Jedi movie, Dave Filoni's Mandoverse movie, which is probably the most likely to happen out of everything that we're saying, but it's on here. Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy's Rey Skywalker New Jedi Order film / Simon Kinberg's new Star Wars trilogy. I'm also going to put that second one on the super likely to happen, but we don't know. Patty Jenkins' Rogue Squadron, Mando Season 4, Lando whatever it's going to be, which is, along with the Taika Waititi project, both of those were announced on the Disney shareholders call in 2020.
Yeah, so
in
long
December.
ago.
And we've gotten a Taika Waititi update recently, which was, he hasn't found the time to write the script yet. Which means it's not happening.
He's a busy guy, so.
But that also means it's not happening. It's been 6 years.
Yeah.
We're coming up on, it's been 5 years, for sure.
Yeah.
And then Zach reminded me of this, the Carlton and Nick Hughes TV show, which got kind of like pseudo-leaked that it was in development in April of this year. That was, and I had forgotten about this completely.
Yeah.
Because nothing else ever came out about it. Also, since then, Disney has said that they're going for less streaming stuff. You know what I mean? So it's entirely possible that they did have a meeting that went well, and then Disney was like, we're not making any money. Go away. One of them was a Lost guy, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, Carlton did Lost, Bates Motel, and Jack Ryan accuses from The Leftovers, Watchmen, which is fantastic.
That's
the TV show, and Station 11, which is also a good show and a great book.
Right on.
But we'll. I kind of hope that one gets something. It could be cool.
Yeah, it'd be cool. I bring in new peeps.
Yeah.
Bring in new peeps to do new things. But Zach, out of all of those that I just laid down, what is the one that you... So let's go ahead and say that Dave Filoni and Simon Kinberg's projects, they don't count because I think those are probably going to happen.
Yeah.
In some fashion. But as for the rest of them, which one do you most want to see take place?
It's probably a time between Rogue Squadrons, Patty Jenkins' Rogue Squadron, and Lando. I want another Lando project so bad. He's the perfect age right now to play OG Lando as well. He's the same age as Billy Dee was in Empire Strikes Back. So, like, you could do anything with him. And he's so good. Donald Glover is a Renaissance man in all forms and fashions. So please, just make it work. Give him money, whatever he needs. Make it work. But Rogue Squadron, I'm also just so... Like, I would love... I know we're getting, Starfighter, which comes out in 2 years, or a year from now.
May 2027.
Yeah. So maybe some of that is being used there, but I would love, like, an OG-era trilogy about pilots. Give me David Corn Sweat, and give me some other guys. Throw me in there. Throw me and Matt in there in a a B-wing or something, like, where we're just like,
All I've ever wanted to be in Star Wars is just a guy that, there's too many of them. Dead.
Yep.
Done. That's all I want.
Yeah. We'll be Zedge and
Tam.
Mook.
Tam. Just flip my name around.
Yeah.
Tam Rentib. Done.
Tam Rentib.
Star Wars name. Done.
Yep.
For me, it's the two that were announced side by side, Filoni's movie at Celebration in 2023, the James Mangold Dawn of the Jedi movie and Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy's Rey Skywalker film. For so many reasons, not the least of which being that Dawn of the Jedi is wide open and new, and it sounds, what little we've heard James Mangold say about it, all sounded great.
Yeah.
That it was going to be a biblical epic. And now I don't want to run with my own expectations and set up things that they weren't going to do, but that sounds like the 10 Commandments in Star Wars. Give me that yesterday.
Yeah.
That sounds amazing. The only thing I don't like about James Mangold is his Indiana Jones movie. But recently I found out that movie overcame a lot of development problems. There was a lot of COVID stuff, there was a lot of entertainment strike stuff, and they had to kind of redo the movie as they were making it.
Yeah.
And basically what has come out is that James did kind of the Lord's work to make that movie watchable.
Yeah.
So
I like that movie.
I really wanted to. But, and then the Rey Skywalker movie, we have seen this Star Wars story told over and over and over and over of a young person becoming an adult and entering the world.
Yeah.
And that's where the story ends. I want to see what comes next. I want to see Rey, a grown, capable Jedi, now having overcome the trials of adolescence and the trials of becoming something else than what you are. And now she's in the world and able to affect it, and she's in charge.
Yeah.
We haven't seen that story in Star Wars.
Give us some adult struggles.
Well, honestly, yes.
Yeah.
But it's just a different flavor of struggle. It's not the figuring out who you are while also chasing evil.
Yeah.
It's you know who you are, and now you got to keep who you are while chasing evil. The closest we've seen to that is like how Qui-Gon Jinn is kind of the protagonist of The Phantom Menace.
Yeah.
You know, that's the closest we've ever seen. And also just the idea of, man, if we could have gotten a Luke Skywalker movie, you know what I'm saying?
In the early 90s or yeah.
Like, how amazing would that have been? And I know I'm summoning haters that are like, well, Rey Skywalker isn't anywhere near as good of a character, and she's not a Skywalker. And I will say, touch grass, she is, but also that's an opinion. So go touch more grass. That sounds so good.
Yeah.
And I want to see both of those things.
Yeah.
So there we go. And I hope that they happen. I don't know if they will, but I hope that they happen.
Yeah.
So there we go. But all right, we've talked about all the Star Wars that we're getting and all the Star Wars that we want. You got anything else to say before we send them out into their non-Force of Others real lives?
No, if you are excited about any of this, or if we missed anything, because it's going to be a big year, email us, forceofothersradio@gmail.com, or get in the comments, or Instagram us, or whatever. Get involved with us. We'd love to hear from you. If you have any theories on what any of these movies will be or won't be, or what will happen and won't happen, get involved with us. We want to hear it. We love reading some fan theories or fan casts. We want to be involved with you. So get involved with us. forceofothersradio@gmail.com.
That's right.
Yeah.
Get involved. We are the Force of Others. We are not the Force of Matt and Zach. I will not be on the pod next week because I will be traveling, but I'm interviewing Jason W. Crispin at Star Wars Artist on Instagram. It's all the art behind me, if you can see it.
I got some here too.
There we go. I'm going to talk to him on a couple days from now.
Yeah.
And so I might end up being on the show next week. Just, you know what I'm saying? It won't be a Zach and me hangout next week. But we got other interviews in the can, other RPG plans coming with friends, and I'm just so excited that we have the opportunity to nerd out about Star Wars together, and that all this Star Wars is coming out this year that we're going to get to talk about with us and with you. But, I don't have anything philosophical to say. So, just, remember, we are not the Force of Others. You are. And the Force of Others will be with you.
Always.
The Force of Others, a Star Wars podcast.